Hi angels, welcome back to my channel. So we are going to be talking about walking the path of the in-between as a witch, as a spiritualist, as someone who is deeply divinely connected, whether it be through the underworld or the upper world or all of it in between. When you have just come out of a crossroads and you're in between timelines, you're not sure where you're going, but at the same time, you are really finding truth in your emotion, in the flow state. So we just had a crossroads. I just went through a crossroads, right? In life, we have many crossroads that we go through. Every time we decide we're going to leave a person, you know, that itself is an ending, it's a crossroad. Every single time you decide you need to move forwards, or you want to quit your job, or you want something new, that opens up a crossroads. And we have just had a crossroads collectively. Everyone's crossroads is different. Some people walk through a crossroads and it can be easy, but then other times it can be very difficult. And I just walked through a crossroads that brought about many endings, some which were expected, and I always knew deep down it was more of a question of when, and other endings that were deeply saddening, that were just like deeply unexpected. And during this crossroads, this ending, this was an ending that was very deep for me personally, but it was needed because for the first time, this was a pivotal move in my life to not only choose my own path, but show up for myself without needing permission, without needing guidance, without needing people to tell me how and when to do it. This was a crossroads that ended a lot of old contracts that I had done and completed. And now I walk in the in-between. I walk in the in-between, on one hand choosing my path, but on the other hand, I'm still navigating grief. And the reason I come and I speak this truth today is because I know that there is someone else that is going to be walking in this in-between energy, and that is going to watch this and is going to not only feel validated, but it's like finally representation of their path as it's representation of my path. But I also film this because I want to document this grief journey that I'm moving through, this time in my life where it is so pivotal, where after a long time of seeking, of searching, of doing the behind the scenes work, of learning how to navigate being a witch, of, you know, connecting with my own guides, my own spiritual gifts, of being the reader, being, you know, I feel like in a sense, I've done all paths, even though I haven't done everything yet. But it's a pivotal point where I decide to move. And I really just wanted to document this today to show you what it feels like to be moving through this energy. And what made me giggle today is that, firstly, like the emotional state that I'm in right now, in the in-between energy, we actually have another crossroads coming up, right? And of course, whenever you see this, there is many crossroads that we have to go through. Doesn't matter if it's around the corner, doesn't matter if it's in a year's time. There are many crossroads that we walk through. So my emotional state has been very up and down. And what came into my head today, which really made me laugh, was the scene in Tangled. Hopefully you have seen Tangled and you understand what I'm about to say. But where she finally realizes that it's time to leave the tower, she does so in an unexpected way. She makes the choice to do so with Flynn Rider. And when she leaves, first she's happy, then she's sad, and then she's happy. And then she's like coming to a complete and utter stillness of having to just like really think like, what am I going through? What am I processing here? Like, why is this such a huge step to take one step out of the tower? And I know not only for me, but there are many of us that have been stuck in this tower, whether it be with people, structures, home life, trauma, these beliefs and these things that have constantly lived throughout us. And what may be simple to another witch or to another person is not as simple to us, because it's like, well, all I've been taught is to be restricted, to not choose my path, to wait for permission, to rest first and then move, to have to do everything perfect, to live by right or wrong. And for the first time, I'm stepping out of this tower of these old belief systems, whether there is resistance or whether it is that I need to reset my nervous system and lie in bed and just choose me. I'm still choosing to move the way that I want to, because for the first time, I'm listening to my own energy without having background noise of the universe or fate or even my guides. And even though, you know, guides, they never leave you, you always have them in your life, a lot of the karmic contracts that I had before were these energies of, I need to be the girl that sits down and finds out the root of her problems, or waits for a guy to tell her what is next. I've always been the girl that needed something to validate her existence, her choices, her truth. And for the first time, I'm moving without that blockage. I'm still resetting my nervous system. I'm still resting, but in this in-between energy, there is no more going against myself. And it's almost as if for the first time, with all that I've learned on my witch journey, with all that I've gathered so far in my spiritual journey and in life, I'm moving forwards and I'm walking, I'm flying, I'm crumbling. One minute I'm very happy and I'm embodied on my path. And yesterday I actually filmed a video which was very similar to this video, which will go up. It was more the empowered state, but I wanted to just document this because it's such a weird feeling, grieving that version of yourself that you've always known, that has always needed those things, that existence, that thing to make you move forwards. Even in guides, right? There are times where your guides can no longer be there to hold your hand. There are times when the contracts with them end and you have to move forwards, and it's such a weird feeling of loss. Not only loss, but feeling this almost gaping hole in your chest, but it's not gaping. It's not a wound that has opened up. It's not needing more healing. It's, I've healed. I've gotten to where I needed to be. And now I have to walk forwards. And in this in-between energy after a crossroads, you don't always know what's coming next. You could have made a decision, you could have chosen a door, but that door may lead to another crossroads, or it may lead to something completely different that you have no idea about. And what is interesting is that last year I sort of went through this energy, but in a different way. I went through this energy of this kind of ending of when I stopped filming picker cards and I stopped being a reader for everyone, or when I stopped needing to give Lilith messages because I no longer needed the guidance to embody her. I became her in a sense, right? I became her shadow lessons. I became her teaching. I stocked up everything that she gave me, all the knowledge, all the guidance, and I put it in my toolkit. And whenever I need to move with empowerment, I move now. I move because it's ready, because it's time. And that is exactly what I have just gone through, but with other guides, with just like endings in life period. There are some people, you may go through it with people, with endings of careers or pivotal shifts in your life. And it's this weird energy of, I don't know if things are going to work out. I've met myself spiritually so much. I've gathered everything that I need to, and now it's like I have to make choices for me. I have to create for me. I have to move for me. I have to learn all those lessons and boundaries to use them forwards. You know, it's almost as if this energy of, I've always been looking out the window with my guides behind me, cuddled around me, and now it's like I'm ready to move past that window. I'm ready to be more than the window, and I don't need their permission to do it. I don't need anyone's permission to move anymore, because I've unlocked this state within me in this in-between energy. Though sometimes I'm going to cry, though sometimes I'm going to be happy and feel like, fuck yeah, I can do it. I'm in this like weird energy where the scales aren't balanced always, but they don't also need to be able to move forwards. And even just this morning, I literally had like a mini panic attack in the shower. Not full-blown anxiety attack, but like where you start crying, your heart beats slower, and things feel a bit like, whoa. I feel like I've just lost a big part of me. But even though on the other hand, I know that I haven't, it's not even that I'm going to figure things out. I'm going to move. I'm going to move. I'm going to achieve. I'm going to speak truth. I'm going to be who I always knew that I could be. I have become the version that has been waiting to be unlocked this whole time, and it's such a weird feeling to navigate this path, but I am using my tools, and it doesn't need to look perfect. Today I reset my nervous system. I processed the grief of the old contracts. I let them go how they need to. I also embodied new energy that hasn't yet found a full scope, but has shaped a new perception. I found magic even on my witch's path in this in-between time. And I say all this to remind you that even if you are walking in the in-between, even if you don't know where you're going to go, whether you're spiritual or not, remember that you are a witch. You are a human, you are magical, regardless if you are spiritual or not, regardless if you're a witch or not, regardless if you connect with your guides or not, you are magic. And sometimes it's remembering that magic and choosing it, even if everything around you is burning, even if everything around you tells you not to do it. I can't tell you how many times choosing myself over the last 3 days has brought so much chaos. It's brought things falling on the floor, things breaking that were the most helpful tool in the past, but it's still choosing to find that way, still choosing to navigate from within me instead. Because no matter where I go, I know who I devote to, but I also know who I am. And sometimes grief is just such a weird place, because you know you can never go back to that old energy. There are times when I deeply miss the version of me that I was, the version that could sit in darkness and make friends with her shadows, the version of me that could speak for hours to the gods, to the goddesses, to be able to find my truth. I miss that, in a weird way, that awakened but also unawakened state of always being in the tower, figuring things out, learning. I miss that energy, and I don't just miss it, I mourn it. I mourn that energy of me that died such a long time ago, but at the same time I'm so excited to almost use that version of me to rebirth into who I am, to embody who I am. Though it's scary, I am so excited to embody this version of me that is so ready to spread her wings, is so ready to move at her own call. Not just because she has mourned and she's let go, but because I've reached a point where it is time. It is time to move. It is time to play. It is time to put all that I learned in that tower to use. It's time to move at my own core without needing to be coddled, needing to be taught over and over again, needing to be in such states where it's like 1 minute you're in shadow, in darkness, but in the other hand you're in shadow and you're in empowerment. I'm liminal now, and I'm not rushing to get to the next crossroads. I'm not rushing to be perfect, to meet this, version of me that needs to have it all together. Instead, I am just enjoying for the first time the in-between, even if it means crying to fill my next cup, even if it means having to figure out the clues along the way, even if it means having to be the hunter, to hunt, to find shelter in this in-between, if it means having to build a little mini fortress to stay alive, to build a campfire to stay warm. I am enjoying this in-between. I'm enjoying this magic of transformation, because I also look back and I think all those times that I was rushing to get forwards, rushing to meet this version of me now. But it's ironic because now I'm this version that I've met, I've found, I've healed, I've gained my own authority. It's like, whoa, take me back to the girl that was a bit more innocent, that wasn't fully awakened yet. And of course, your witch's journey is not just, this, it's seasons, it's ups, it's downs, it's learning, it's knowledge. But it's like finally in my blood, to the point where it's like, even though I did all those things out of devotion, even though I had to heal, I had to learn, I had to grow, I had to tumble, I had to search, it's like I choose it for me now. I can clearly see what I choose, what lights me up, what brings me that empowerment, even if it's in short bursts. So I say this, if you are in the in-between, if you are between crossroads or before them, enjoy the process of doors closing. Because when you are a witch, one, you are never truly alone. You always have the magic, the deities, the gods, the goddess. It's very hard to rid them on your path. Apology for the little cut off. My phone storage is just like so full right now, it's a joke. But as I was saying, you always have magic, you always have a way forwards. So try to enjoy the in-between. Go through your flow states, find rest, but also find movement. Find a way to alchemize forwards through strategy, through your skills, through your knowledge. But also be open towards new things and release control. It's a very interesting time, but I just wanted to document this grief journey so not only I can look back at such a pivotal time, but I know that there are so many of us going through pivotal times right now. Know that it's no longer about if you're going to make it, it's if you're going to live for the first time. And I hope that you choose to find a reason to live and to begin over and over again, even if it takes you through the states. I hope that you continue to choose your magic, your spirituality, even if it means ending massive parts of yourself, because you do have the power to navigate forwards. You will open up the right doors at the right time, and no, you don't need to listen to fate. You can move forwards as long as it's from your essence and your soul. You do not need permission to do anything. I love and appreciate you guys. Please make sure that you guys give me a follow on my socials. I'll leave them down below. Also make sure that you follow me specifically on TikTok if you want the behind the scenes stuff and everyday messages and stuff first. I also have a subscription on TikTok, which is more like extended videos behind the scenes of witchiness and all that stuff. So I hope that you can subscribe. I will see you there. I love and appreciate you. Keep going.